Libra, the secret that frees you from lifetimes of regret. Learn it now. Libra, most of your regret didn't come from doing the wrong thing. It came from waiting. And as you hear these words, something in your chest already knows. This is true because you are the sign that sees every angle, every consequence, every possible outcome. And while others leap and fall and rise again, you pause, you balance, you measure. And in that pause, destiny quietly moves on, without you, not to punish you, but to teach you. Because the universe has always tested Libra through timing, not through intention. You didn't lose because you were careless. You lost because you were careful, because you feared tipping the scales, because harmony mattered more than urgency. And in that space between knowing and choosing, entire lifetimes of opportunity slipped past your hands like sand you meant to hold later. Think back now, not with shame, but with honesty, to the relationship where you felt the truth in your body, yet delayed the words, the chance you knew was meant for you, yet waited for a sign to be clearer, the moment you almost spoke your boundary, but softened it instead. The door you stood in front of so long that it quietly closed on its own. And notice how these memories don't feel random. They feel patterned, almost rehearsed, as if you have lived this moment before, because you have. This same pattern repeats across lifetimes, not as a curse, but as unfinished karma, seeking resolution. And Libra, you are especially sensitive to this. Because your soul remembers harmony from other realms, remembers balance so deeply that disruption feels dangerous even when disruption is the doorway to freedom. Astrologically, you stand on the axis of choice, forever, pulled between honoring yourself and pleasing the world, between listening to the quiet truth within and maintaining peace outside. And when those two conflict, you hesitate, and hesitation is where regret is born. Buddhist wisdom speaks of attachment not only to desire, but to comfort, to approval, to the avoidance of friction and Libra. This subtle attachment has shaped your destiny more than any mistake ever could, because every time you chose to wait for the perfect moment, you postponed the lesson your soul came here to learn. And here is the unsettling question your spirit has been circling around for lifetimes, the one you feel tightening your throat right now as you listen. What if this regret wasn't personal, but karmic? What if the ache you feel when you think of what could have been is not just memory, but recognition, a signal echoing from other timelines where you stood at the same crossroads and made the same choice to delay? Ancient seers warned that the greatest loss is not failure, but missed alignment, and that the soul that waits too long becomes trapped in the loop of almost speaking, almost leaving, almost choosing, almost living. And Libra, if you are honest with yourself, you know how familiar that word feels almost. Almost happy, almost free, almost fulfilled, almost brave. This is why this video found you now, not later, not randomly, but precisely when your spirit is ready to hear the truth without flinching. Because there is one thing, only one that breaks this loop. One. Understanding that dissolves lifetimes of regret the moment it is embodied, not thought about. And this is not motivation. It is activation. If you scroll away, if you tell yourself you will come back later, the universe will take that as the answer you have given before, and the pattern will continue, gently, patiently, until you are ready to stop waiting. But if you stay, if you let these words settle instead of analyzing them, if you feel the quiet urgency beneath the calm voice, you will recognize yourself in a way that changes how time responds to you. This teaching does not work on those who watch casually. It only works when the soul says, "This is me." So stay. Libra, breathe. Let the scales rest for a moment, because what comes next is not about choosing between options. It is about choosing yourself, and once you see it, truly see it, regret no longer follows you into the future. It dissolves behind you, and the universe begins to move at your pace again. Faster, clearer, aligned, as if it has been waiting for you to finally stop waiting. If these words resonate, let the energy move through you by liking this video, by subscribing to this channel, so this frequency stays with you, and by sharing this message because another Libra is standing at the same invisible gate, wondering why life feels paused, and your action here is not just engagement, it is protection, it is alignment. It is the first decision made without delay, and the moment you do something subtle but powerful shifts, and your future begins to listen. Libra, as you move deeper into this message, allow yourself to feel how the story shifts from emotion into structure, from memory into pattern, because what you are experiencing is not random psychology. It is a cosmic design written into your soul long before this lifetime began. Astrologically, Libra stands on one of the most karmically charged axes in the zodiac, the axis of relationship choice and symmetry, where every decision is mirrored, weighed, reflected, and delayed until balance feels safe. And this is where the loop of regret is born. You are ruled by equilibrium, by the need to see both sides, by the instinct to create peace between opposing forces. But the universe did not place you here merely to harmonize others. It placed you here to learn sovereignty through choice, and this lesson is not gentle. The deeper planetary archetypes that govern your destiny are not soft. They are Pluto and Saturn, the lords of karmic consequence, time pressure, and irreversible transformation. And when these forces activate Libra, they do not ask politely. They demand that you decide who holds power over your life. Pluto represents the death of the false self. Saturn represents the responsibility of free will, and together they test you on one sacred point, whether you will choose alignment even when it disrupts harmony. From a karmic perspective, Libra often carries a vow from previous incarnations, a vow to keep the peace, to prevent conflict, to smooth tensions between others and in past lives. This vow may have protected communities, families, even nations, but in this lifetime, that same vow becomes a subtle prison. You delay not because you are weak, but because your soul remembers chaos and believes harmony must be preserved at all costs, even the cost of your own truth. And each time you do not choose, something crucial happens energetically. The karmic contract does not dissolve, it extends. Each non-decision is read by the universe as consent to repeat the lesson again and again until clarity replaces caution. Buddhism names this pattern with quiet precision, calling it subtle attachment, not attachment to pleasure or desire, but attachment to comfort, to approval, to the avoidance of disruption. And this attachment is more binding than fear itself. Libra becomes attached to the feeling of being liked, being fair, being the calm presence in the room, and unknowingly trades temporary peace for long-term regret. This is why awakening often comes late for you, not because you are unaware, but because awareness without action becomes delayed wisdom, and delayed wisdom ripens into sorrow. You often realize the truth only after the door has closed. only when the person has moved on, only when the opportunity no longer exists. And this timing is not cruel, it is instructional. The universe waits until the contrast is sharp enough for the lesson to land. Ancient prophecy warned of this exact pattern, and Baba Vanga spoke of humanity's greatest suffering arising not from wrong choices, but from hesitation at the gate, the moment when the path opens briefly and closes forever if the soul cannot step forward. Libra, you are the living symbol of that prophecy, the one who stands at the threshold, weighing, considering, balancing. While destiny waits only so long, the gate does not punish you for waiting. It simply does what all gates do. It closes when its time has passed. And yet, hear this clearly, because this is where hope enters. This karmic pattern is not permanent. Unlike trauma, unlike fate, unlike circumstance, karmic delay can be cut, but only when the soul learns the lesson it has been avoiding. The universe does not demand perfection from you. It demands commitment. It does not ask that you always choose correctly. It asks that you choose consciously. The moment Libra acts from inner alignment rather than external harmony, the karmic loop weakens, timelines shift, and Saturn loosens its grip. This is not metaphor. This is energetic law. When you choose yourself without apology, you send a signal that echoes backward and forward through time, rewriting the lesson across lifetimes. This is why you are here now, listening, feeling the quiet intensity behind these words, because the pattern has brought you to the edge again, but this time, you are aware of it. And awareness, when paired with action, becomes liberation. There is a secret that completes this process, a single internal shift that dissolves hesitation at the root, and it will be revealed next, but only to those who stay present, who do not scroll, who do not postpone their awakening one more time. If this resonates, if something inside you feels seen and steady rather than afraid, anchor this energy now by liking this video, because attention directs power, by subscribing to this channel, so your frequency remains aligned with timely wisdom, and by sharing this message, because another Libra is standing silently at a gate, unsure why life feels stalled. Your engagement is not passive, it is participatory. It signals readiness. It protects your future from repetition. And as you take this simple action without delay, notice how something shifts, subtle but real, because for the first time you are not waiting to be chosen. You are choosing. Libra. Now listen carefully, because what you are about to hear is not advice, not motivation, not another comforting explanation for why things unfolded the way they did. This is the turning point. The secret that quietly governs whether regret follows you through lifetimes or dissolves the moment you step into alignment. Everything you were taught about choice was incomplete. You were told to choose wisely, to choose correctly, to choose. After all information was gathered, after all voices were heard, after certainty arrived. But the universe was never waiting for you to be right. It was waiting for you to be ready. Here is the reversal that frees you. Regret does not come from choosing. Wrong regret is born the moment you refuse to choose at all. The secret is simple but not easy. Regret ends the moment Libra chooses alignment over approval. When you feel that truth land, notice how your body reacts before your mind agrees, because your body has always known this, even when your thoughts argued otherwise. In Buddhist teaching, suffering is sustained not by action, but by clinging to outcomes, clinging to how things should look, clinging to being liked, understood, validated. And Libra, your soul mastered refinement, but postponed release. Freedom begins when you loosen your grip on outcomes and act when the moment opens, not when the guarantee arrives. You were never meant to be certain, you were meant to be sincere. You do not need proof, permission, or consensus. You only need to be honest with the very first vibration that rises in you before the mind begins its negotiations. That initial pulse, the quiet yes or no, that appears instantly, that is not emotion, that is karmic intelligence. Astrologically, that first intuitive spark is the signal that a gate has opened, a rare alignment where time bends in your favor, where the lesson can finally complete itself. The longer you hesitate, the more the planetary current shifts, and what was once open begins to close. Not out of punishment, but because timing is alive. Every time Libra delays, every time you say, "Let me think, let me wait, let me balance this a little longer," the gate does not stay suspended, it seals, and the same lesson will not return quickly. This is why certain opportunities feel like they vanish forever, because on a soul level, they were not meant to be repeated in the same form. Many Libras do not realize that some doors operate on 12-year cycles, opening once briefly, then moving on. And this is why regret feels so heavy for you, because somewhere inside you know you missed something rare. But hear this clearly. When Libra acts immediately, when you choose alignment the moment it appears, old, karma dissolves faster than you think. You do not have to suffer through years of consequence to be redeemed. Karma is not punishment. It is momentum, and momentum can be redirected instantly when awareness meets action. This is not philosophy. This is energetic law. When you act from alignment, Saturn releases pressure. Pluto stops circling, and the lesson marks itself complete. This is why some people seem to move forward effortlessly, while others feel stuck, repeating variations of the same story. The difference is not intelligence or luck. It is timing plus courage. Libra, you were never weak. You were just trained to wait. And waiting feels safe. It feels polite. It feels balanced. But it quietly keeps you bound. The universe does not reward hesitation. It responds to commitment. It responds when you step forward without knowing the ending, when you say yes before fear finishes its argument, when you say no without explaining yourself, when you choose alignment, even if it disrupts harmony temporarily. Most Libras hear this truth after it is too late, after the person is gone, after the chance expires, after the season passes. And that is why this moment matters. You are hearing it now, while the pattern is still active, while the gate is still visible, while the future is still fluid. This is not an accident, and you know it. As you listen, notice the subtle urgency beneath the calm tone that is your soul recognizing the opening. You are not here to collect information. You are here to activate a different way of choosing. And activation begins with simple acts done without delay. If this message resonates, anchor it by liking this video now, not later, because action seals intention. Subscribe to this channel to keep yourself aligned with timely guidance instead of delayed clarity. Share this message because another Libra is standing at the same crossroads, feeling the same hesitation, and your share may be the nudge that saves them from another cycle of regret. These are not empty gestures. They are energetic confirmations, signals to yourself and the universe that you are no longer waiting to be ready. As you do this, feel how something settles inside you, quieter, steadier, as if the scales have finally stopped shaking. This is the feeling of alignment, and once you recognize it, you will never confuse it with approval again, because approval fades. But alignment carries you forward cleanly, decisively, into a future that no longer echoes with almost. Libra, now feel how the energy shifts, because this is where knowing turns into urgency, where understanding becomes pressure, and where the universe prepares to test whether this message will remain information or transform into action. The test does not arrive loudly. It does not announce itself as destiny. It arrives disguised as something ordinary, but time-sensitive. A moment that does not wait for you to feel ready. Very soon, you will face a situation that demands a fast choice. Not days of weighing, not weeks of reflection, but a response that comes from instinct, before comfort has time to intervene. It may appear as an unexpected invitation, a conversation that suddenly turns serious, an opportunity that reopens after you thought it was gone, or a quiet ending that asks you to finally say yes or no instead of maybe. The form will differ for each Libra, but the sensation will be unmistakable. Your heart will accelerate as if it recognizes the moment before your mind can label it. Your thoughts will begin racing through scenarios, pros and cons, imagined reactions, while underneath that noise, your soul will press forward with a clear, simple direction. This inner contrast is the signature of the test. The universe always checks Libra through speed, not complexity. You will feel your body respond first, a tightening in the chest, warmth in the spine, a subtle tremor in the hands, because the body does not lie about timing. The mind, however, will immediately try to restore balance by analyzing, by asking what others think, by seeking reassurance. And this, where the test sharpens. If you ask too many people, if you delay by outsourcing the decision, if you wait for permission disguised as advice, the test collapses. Not in anger, not dramatically, but quietly, and the opportunity dissolves back into potential unavailable once again. But if you choose from that first inner signal, if you move before doubt completes its story, the timeline shifts instantly. This is not symbolic language. This is energetic mechanics. When Libra chooses by intuition rather than consensus, reality responds with alignment. Doors open, where resistance once lived, and what felt heavy begins to move. This is why the test feels intense, because it compresses years of karmic learning into a single moment. Ancient prophecy has always warned about this threshold, and Baba Vanga spoke of the soul that stands before a gate, waiting for approval only to lose the key. The moment hesitation outweighs courage. Libra. This message was never meant to frighten you. It was meant to wake you. The test is not cruel. It is precise. It appears when you finally understand what is being asked of you, not before. That is why you are watching this now, not years ago, not after the fact. The universe does not waste tests on the unprepared. This one does not repeat immediately. It does not circle back next week or next month, because repetition only happens when the lesson has not been seen. You are seeing it now, and seeing it changes everything. The urgency you feel as you listen is not anxiety, it is alignment approaching. Something in your life is nearing a decision point, and on some level, you already know what it is. Notice how specific images or names may be surfacing as you hear these words. That is not coincidence, that is the test announcing itself. You were guided to this video because your awareness needed to be sharpened before the moment arrives. If you had encountered this message afterward, it would feel painful. Encountering it now means possibility. This is the universe's mercy, not its threat. The Buddhist teachings speak of right action arising when mind and timing meet, and this is such a moment. You are not asked to predict outcomes. You are asked to trust alignment. When the test comes, it will not ask you to explain yourself. It will ask you to choose. And the choice will not be between right and wrong. It will be between acting now or repeating the pattern later. Libra, you have waited long enough across lifetimes. This time, awareness has arrived ahead of the moment, and that is rare. Very few souls get warned before the gate appears. You did, which means responsibility follows insight. You are not obligated to act, but you are accountable for what you now understand. This is why the next step matters, because understanding without embodiment keeps karma intact. And now, you must lock this choice. Not someday, not when the test arrives, but now, while your nervous system is calm and your awareness is clear. Locking the choice means committing to action before doubt intervenes. You can begin by anchoring this intention through simple, immediate acts. Like this video now, not as habit, but as a declaration that you respond rather than delay. Subscribe to this channel so your frequency stays aligned with timely messages instead of retrospective clarity. Share this video because another Libra is unknowingly approaching the same test, and your share may shift their timeline as well as yours. These actions are not symbolic, they are rehearsals. They train your system to act without hesitation. And as you do them, notice how the urgency transforms into steadiness, how fear gives way to readiness. This is how the universe checks you, and this is how you pass, not by being certain, but by being present, decisive, and willing to step forward when the gate opens, because it is opening sooner than you think. Libra, if you're still here, this message was meant for you, not because you are curious, not because the algorithm brought you here by accident, but because something inside you is finally ready to stop circling the same lesson and complete it. Stay with my voice now, and let everything else soften, because this is the moment where understanding becomes decision, and decision becomes destiny. I want you to do something simple, something quiet, something powerful. Close your eyes for 3 seconds, just 3. And as you do, notice how your body reacts when there is no one watching, no one to please, no balance to maintain. Now, while your eyes are still closed, bring to mind the decision you have been avoiding, the one you keep postponing, the one that returns to you late at night or in the quiet between conversations. Don't analyze it. Don't justify it, just see it. Take a slow breath in through your nose, hold it gently, and then exhale through your mouth, allowing the weight of waiting to leave your chest. As you breathe out, say these words silently or aloud, and let them land beyond thought. I choose alignment over approval. Feel how your body responds to that sentence, because your body recognizes truth faster than your mind ever will. This is not affirmation. This is declaration. In astrology, moments like this are called lock points, where intention fixes the trajectory of what comes next. And in Buddhist understanding, this is right. Action. Action that arises from awareness rather than fear. Libra, you have balanced long enough. Balance without movement becomes stagnation, and stagnation is how regret survives. Right now, you are standing at the edge of a timeline shift, and what determines whether you cross is not what you know, but what you do in this moment. This is why action matters. This is why I'm asking you not to delay one more time. When you comment, you are not just typing words, you are sealing a choice. Comment now. Exactly, this I choose without regret. Let your fingers move before doubt interrupts. Each comment is a signal, a confirmation sent outward and inward telling the universe and your own nervous system that this time is different. Energy follows decision, not intention. When you hesitate, energy scatters. When you choose it, aligns. That comment anchors your alignment into the timeline you are stepping into. And don't underestimate the power of sharing this message. Share this video because another Libra is standing exactly where you once stood. Confused, careful, waiting, and your share may be the interruption that saves them from another cycle of almost. In spiritual law, what you help others see you integrate more deeply yourself. Sharing is not promotion, it is protection. Subscribe to this channel not as a habit, but as a commitment to stay aligned with right timing rather than delayed clarity. When you subscribe, you are choosing to surround your awareness with reminders that act now is safer than wait and see. Every action you take here is training. Training your soul to respond instead of retreat. Training your future to open instead of repeat. Libra understand this clearly. Skipping action is the same as choosing the old timeline. There is no neutral ground at gates like this. To watch without acting is to silently agree to repetition. To act even in small ways is to declare readiness. This is why the universe watches what you do next, not with judgment, but with responsiveness. The moment you act, reality rearranges itself to meet you. Opportunities that felt blocked loosen. Conversations shift. People respond differently. Not because the world changed, but because you did. This is how karmic loops end, not dramatically, but decisively. Right now, feel how the urgency has transformed into calm certainty. That calm is alignment. That steadiness is what you have been searching for through balance, through approval, through patience. You don't need to wait anymore. The gate responds to movement, and movement begins here. Like the video now to lock this energy into motion. Comment to seal the choice. Share to extend the protection. Subscribe to stay aligned with timing instead of regret. These are not empty gestures, they are coordinated signals, telling your subconscious and the universe that you are done postponing yourself. Libra. You were never meant to live in the space between decisions. You were meant to bring harmony through action, not avoidance. As this video ends, let the ending be clean, not lingering. Let it mark a line between who you were and who you are choosing to be. This is how regret ends, not someday, not gradually, but now forever.